Welcome to Alaska EdVenture, Lessons from the K-12 Frontier, with your host, Dr. Meinert, Superintendent of the Fairbanks Northstar Borough School District. This podcast is your gateway to the heart of Alaska's educational landscape, where each episode features guests sharing their unique perspectives. We are bringing together voices that shape education in the last frontier. Join us as we explore the challenges, triumphs, and innovations in Alaska's K-12 classrooms.
Well, welcome back to another podcast session of Alaska EdVenture. I'm your host, Dr. Luke Meinert, and I'm the superintendent of the Fairbanks Northstar Borough School District. Today, I have Stacey Kennedy and Eliza Riordan with me, and I hope I nailed that right. If not, you can correct me here in a little bit. And we're going to talk about Northstar College. Stacey's the director of Northstar College. It's the first year that Northstar College is a school. It's moved from program status to a school, and so we're going to talk about that and all the exciting things that come with that. And then Eliza is a senior at Northstar College, which means she's a senior in high school, but also up on campus at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. And so super excited to hear about her experiences and why she chose the Northstar College this school year. So I'd like to start with some introductions. Stacey, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do as the director of the Northstar College school?
Sure. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little about my background. I came from originally from Idaho and taught elementary school down there for 5 years and decided it was time for a change. I moved to Alaska and haven't left.
Awesome.
Spent time out in Bering Strait School District, time as an Alaska statewide teacher mentor, time with Copper River School District as principal at Kenny Lake School. And then I moved up to Fairbanks and had positions here with an assistant principal position at Lathrop, as well as 7 years as principal at Anderson Elementary. And then most recently went back to the classroom last year as a second grade teacher and was ready for a leadership challenge again with Northstar College.
Awesome.
So
I love that. Jumping from second grade to higher ed.
Absolutely.
And so lots of great Alaska experience there. And just so thankful you're a part of our school district and leading this new change with Northstar College. Eliza, a little bit about you.
Yeah. So I'm from Fairbanks, born and raised. And I went to Weller Elementary, and then I went to Tanana Middle School, and then I went to Lathrop for my first 3 years. And my first year, due to COVID, was online completely. But then my junior year, we found out about I could get into Northstar College, and mine was kind of a bit of a rocky road getting into Northstar, just because I had applied, I'd gotten into the lottery, and then I decided to pull out because I was like, oh, but what about my high school experience and everything? Because I kind of had it's kind of like the American high school experience, like everyone's like all about it and everything, and so I was like, oh, I guess maybe I should just stay. And then like all my friends decided to go to Northstar. They're all juniors. And then it was the middle of summer, and I was like, oh no, I really want to see if I can get back in. And then I was actually able to, which I'm so unbelievably glad that I ended up deciding to go to Northstar. I mean, it's different than high school, but it's a wonderful different. Like I keep telling my parents, I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm going to Northstar instead of at Lathrop. Not that I have anything against Lathrop. Lathrop was amazing, but I'm just really, really happy to be at Northstar.
Oh, yeah. That's super great. We'll definitely dig into a little bit more. A part of this conversation is going to be about the lottery and how parents might go about finding more information out about the school. And definitely, I think parents and students are going to be interested to hear your perspective of what moved that needle, what pushed you over the edge of your decision for wanting to try Northstar College, and then hearing about all the great things that are happening. But I do want to I want to start with a high level overview. I feel like there's probably some listeners out there that don't know what Northstar College is. So Stacey, can you explain to our listeners what Northstar College is?
Sure. So Northstar College is a partnership with the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and between the school district and the university, students, juniors and seniors, can be dually enrolled in college credit as well as obtaining their high school credit. So for example, if a student was taking Political Science 101 on campus, they would receive 3 credit hours on a transcript for the university for that course, as well as a 0.5 credit for the high school transcript. So dual enrollment, juniors and seniors, just a great opportunity to step into that college experience.
That's pretty awesome. And who pays for Northstar College?
Good question. Actually, the school district takes care of all tuition and required textbooks. So free college credit, great opportunity.
So Eliza, I imagine that might have been a decision potentially in you choosing Northstar College and maybe your parents or your guardians' encouragement to join the school?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've taken the AP program and everything, and just, I mean, this semester alone, I got 17 credits worth of college that I can put towards. And by the time I graduate, I should be at least a sophomore standing going into college, whether I go to UAF or I'm hoping to go to Western Washington and Bellingham. And so it was definitely a big tick towards getting me to go to Northstar. I mean, you're saving thousands of dollars. I mean, college is definitely not cheap. And so, and also it looks fantastic on your transcripts too. I mean, we have opportunities to get into so many more scholarships and everything just by going to Northstar. And I mean, yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that we talk to parents about is Northstar College is in a supported environment. So students get to try out college before, they leave the home or before they go away potentially to college. And so what are some of those supports, Stacey, that we provide students, and Eliza, maybe that you've seen along the way to help that transition into the college experience?
First and foremost, a requirement of the program is our DEVS classes, which are college success skills courses. All students are required to take those. And as juniors, we have cohorted classes for U.S. history. So all juniors are enrolled in U.S. history together. And for seniors, they're cohorted together for government and economics, which are high school grad requirements. So in those settings, we can, as Northstar College students, access the students. It's a time for students to kind of grow those strong bonds as peers, academic peers, a time to mentor one another, a time to just have this experience at Northstar College together, and that we can access them and support them where they're needed, where it's needed. So, for example, in senior DEVS classes, lots of conversation around access and post-secondary education and college scholarships and applications. So those conversations, it's just a great opportunity to be able to access students during those cohorted and DEVS classes.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you talk a little bit about the space that we have up on campus to provide that supported environment? Well,
with the partnership with UAF, they stepped in and revamped our space. Beautiful, beautiful Bunnell Suite 402. But we have some really nice office space for our staff, as well as great study carrel areas and just privacy for students if they want to access that space during the day. It's open to anybody, but our students really do find that kind of their safe space, and they've come in. We also have refrigerator, microwave, just areas for them to access if they need to warm up their lunch, eat some breakfast. They know they can come access us, as well as just being available to our counselor. The UAF advisor is all in that space as well. So they can come there and find answers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a huge thanks to the University of Alaska Fairbanks for building out that space. I think I joked with Stacey the first time I saw it remodeled. I was like, woo, I think we might have to build a temporary superintendent suite over here. It's so gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
On clear days, you can see the mountain ranges and a lot of Fairbanks. And so definitely thankful for that spot. Eliza, love to hear about your experience with the space there and then supports that you might receive both from our teachers that are on staff with Northstar College, and then the support you get through the university.
Yeah, definitely. So DEVS, we meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. And we've gone on over a bunch of different topics. I mean, from scholarships, like she said, we did do the UAF scholarship, which we got support from the UAF Running Center, which was required. And that actually, at first I was like, oh, maybe I don't really need to use the UAF Writing Center. And then I used it for that. And then I've used it on all of my other papers since. And it's fantastic because you can just access it through the Navigate, which is provided for all UAF students, which we also get access to because we're almost treated like UAF students, which is fantastic. And then, which has been super helpful. They're all super understanding and they help you on a bunch of different things from editing to coming up with ideas to formatting, like anything you need having to do with writing, you can go to them. And it doesn't just have to be for your classes. It can be for scholarships or creative writing or applications, which is fantastic. And then we've also had career panels, so people from across Fairbanks on like the different types of jobs and the different life paths. Like you don't have to go straight into university. You can go through trades or other things. And it's really just been nice to hear from people who have actually gone through college and been like, hey, it's not as nerve-wracking as it seems. And that's also something that Northstar has provided me, is that I was always so scared, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be going into college and I'm not going to be near my parents. And it's just like this whole new experience that I was always like super terrified about. But then when I got into Northstar and you're kind of immersed slightly into UAF, like you're not living on campus, but you are a student and you're interacting with these college professors and everything, it's not as scary as it seems, which is really, really helpful. I mean, it's like this big weight off my shoulders. And then our advisors are fantastic. I mean, like anything between adding classes, dropping classes, communicating with your professors, and then making sure that you're on track not to just get college credits towards maybe your major that you're interested in, but also just making sure that you're graduating high school first off. But yeah, and the space is amazing and everyone there is super helpful and kind.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I mean, it's been 20 years ago now since my undergrad experience, but I still think back and how intimidating it was to try to start that communications with professors. I remember I had an issue with a grade in a philosophy class, and my final grade came down on my report card and it was much less than what I expected it to be. And I was like, this can't be right. And it took up a lot of nerve to go to that professor and see what was going on. And at the end of the day, it ended up being a mistake. He had transferred somebody else's grade onto mine. And I got the A that I thought I should have gotten.
Yeah.
But man, I was scared to go have that conversation. And so hearing that you're learning some of those skills and having some of those experience in your devs class and at an early age, I think that's going to be super helpful as you pursue your post-secondary career.
Definitely, yeah.
And sometimes just with that, I guess I would love to think she just answered our why. Mm-hmm. She just covered why at Northstar College. And that transition up to this experience and those support roles around students like Eliza, it's been amazing to watch the growth of our students and the courage it takes to step into the writing center, to make that first appointment for math tutoring, whatever it might be, but we're there to help them write those emails or let me walk you over, I'll show you. And so just hearing that reflection, it's inspiring. That's why we're here.
Yeah. I also loved hearing about the career exploration piece. I mean, one of the things we talk a lot about with families as they're thinking about Northstar College is even if you're not decided on I'm going to be college bound, Northstar College can still be for you. I mean, just having that experience in a supported environment is, incredibly, I think, important and helpful regardless of what you decide to do after high school. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
I'd like to transition into, so what are some of your classes you're taking this year, and what have you really found that you've liked in those classes?
So last semester I took our required political science class, which I really, really enjoyed. I mean, with government, if I took it AP at Lathrop, it's more on like historic and like structure and everything versus the one that we took, you learn the structure of government and civics and everything, but then also we had so much involvement in current events that you kind of really understood like what's going on, and you're kind of learning, oh, this is like what it's like being in the world and like what's going on in the world, because there's so many people that don't like naturally like look at news or different media sources and everything, and you're really kind of understanding like what's going on. And then I also took a media and culture class, journalism, with actually one of our advisors, Kristen Kelly, which I highly recommend to anyone at Northstar College to take. It was an amazing class, and you learn all about the different media and how it affects culture and everything, and that was also a fantastic class. And then I took introduction to astronomy, and then online environmental science and devs. And so I took 17 credits total, and all of my classes were amazing, though. I mean, I got all the credits for all of them, which was fantastic. And then the biggest shock was definitely the 3-hour labs, because in high school, whenever you're taking a science class, the lab is incorporated into your class time, but then you're going to take this 3-hour lab, which they didn't happen to be 3 hours every single time. But they were still super enjoyable, and I loved all of them. And I think the best part about it was how much the professors all loved what they were teaching. I mean, everyone that's there is there to learn. I mean, everyone else that isn't a Northstar College student, they're there and they're paying for it. So everyone's engaged. And I think that it just elevates your learning experience so much more just by being in that environment. Yeah. And then next semester, I'm taking Calc 1, General Chemistry, online study of film, and then devs. So, yeah.
So another full schedule second semester, it sounds like. That's excellent. Can you talk a little bit about the transition? You talked about that 3-hour lab, and I know moving from the high school level to the college level, it's a little bit different. Obviously, in our traditional high school, students are there for 6 to 7 hours a day. In college classes, a lot of times that's not the case, but they do expect you to be doing work outside of class. And so how has that transition gone for you, and have you found that difficult?
Personally, I haven't found it difficult. I found it better fit to my lifestyle. I mean, like, I enjoyed high school and everything, but I always felt like I was in school for too long, and I was kind of like, I could be doing other things, like I could be working or something. And it just felt like I was spending a bit too much time, like kind of not to like fluff a little bit, versus with when I'm at UAF, everything is very direct. Like, when you're in lecture time, you're in lecture and you're learning there. And then on top of that, you do have outside work, but it's not overbearing on my schedule. I feel like it's the perfect balance for me. But the one thing is you do have to have some self-accountability, especially because you do have to spend more time outside of class, but your schedule's more free-flowing. You don't have this 7-hour block where you're in one building for the whole day. I mean, my Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was only in class for 2 hours, and I was able to go and study and work and go to our UAF Rec Center, which we actually get for free as UAF students and everything. And I'm able to go home and actually get 8 hours of sleep, which my parents have seen is a big benefit from going to Northstar. Is I'm like, my sleep schedule is better. I'm able to go to the gym, be active and everything, and have a better balance with my life. And there's more freedom, which I think is important to learn, especially if you're going from high school and then into college, like we said earlier, that it's kind of this big transition. And there's still that support and structure that we get from Northstar, but then you're also a UAF student. And so that just the schedule seems to work a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Stacey, I do want to touch on, if students still want to take advantage of some of the things that are happening at their home attendance area, high school, can they still participate in sports or activities at their home attendance high school? Can you talk a little bit about that,
Sure.
how that might work?
We have many, many students that are still involved in their school sporting events, activities, and their area attendance school, depending on college course schedules. Typically, if students are going to take classes back at their high schools, it's typically 5th or 6th period, which works best with our required courses and then the college schedule. And then a lot of students then stay for those, high school sports after school and are back down on their high school campuses nearly as much as UAF campus.
Okay.
So yes, they have access to all of that. What also at the campus, they have access to intramural sports. Any clubs up on campus. We have some students in Spanish club. Trying to think, what are some of the others I've heard?
There's a political science
science club.
Yeah.
So flyers are hanging up around the school or around campus, and students are welcome to join those clubs. And also what's available is a work study option. If students don't want to work off campus and know it's impacting their schedule, students are qualified to work up to 20 hours a week with a work study job on campus. And those employers are obviously readily working with students in their schedule to help it match what they need for their college courses.
That's great. So. And Eliza said free access to the gym up on campus, which is super awesome, and I'm a bit jealous of. So good to hear you're taking advantage of that.
I've definitely taken advantage of that. And I'm also a part of a bunch of high school sports really, though. Fall, I did flag football, which I've been a part of for 4 years. And then I know plenty of other people that have even done 2 sports, and they're able to balance it even better through Northstar just because they have more time and they're able to fit their schedule around it. And then I'm coming up on my spring sports, which I'm excited for.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What spring sports are you going to participate in?
Soccer, and then I did track before, but I'm thinking maybe I'll try out softball because my friends are really trying to get me to do it.
Oh,
So,
excellent.
yeah.
That'll be great. Before we go on to the application process, because I do want to talk a little bit about that, Eliza, let's dig into what are next steps for you. So we just talked about soccer, maybe softball, but then it sounds like potentially Western Washington or UAF next fall.
Yeah, so I've applied to a couple different colleges. I've gotten into UAF and then Northern Arizona University, and I just submitted my application for Western Washington, University of Washington, and Gonzaga. But
Go Zags! I'm a former Zag. That's just where I got my doctorate from. So
Nice.
if you don't go to UAF, I have to put in a plug for the Zags.
Noted. Yeah, but I am. My heart is pretty set on Western Washington, but Gonzaga
right.
is my second option
Okay,
actually.
there
So
we go.
yeah, the campus is gorgeous.
It
But
is.
I mean, one positive of Western Washington University and also other WUI programs is that UAF is a WUI, which is Western Undergraduate Exchange. So you get almost in-state tuition, and it is merit-based, so based off your grades. But the credits do transfer, which is fantastic. So I'm going to be going in, and I'm only going to have to pay for maybe 2-3 years of college, which is fantastic, and my parents are very excited about.
Oh, I bet they are.
Yeah.
And I mean, a leg up just going into classes next fall as a freshman and already having a college experience. I mean, I think that's going to serve you really well. Do you know what you want to study next year?
Yeah, so I'm interested in physics and chemistry. So I applied and got into the physics program at NAU and UAF, and then I applied for UW physics, and then Western Washington and Gonzaga don't have the most amazing physics programs, but I'm going to do a minor in physics, and then I applied as a chem major. And my other plan is that I'm going to do some exchange to either Norway or Iceland or Sweden, and they all have fantastic physics programs, so I can get my credits for my minor out of the way at these fantastic physics institutions, and then get my chem degree, and then possibly go on to graduate school.
That sounds good. What would you want to do with a chem or physics major?
If I do chem and physics, I'm interested in nuclear chemistry and nuclear physics. Which I mean, if you have a chem background, that's pretty important in nuclear physics. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested in so many different things. Like in my astronomy course I just took, I've always loved astrophysics and astronomy and space and stuff. So I'm not entirely sure, but somewhere in the STEM realm. But yeah.
So we might have a rocket scientist
Yeah.
literally sitting at this table in the future, which I love.
That would be amazing if I end up doing that.
That
but
would
who
be
knows?
super cool.
The
Well,
first graduating class of Northstar College.
right?
here.
And I have no doubt that you got the skills to do it. And so it's just so fun to see the amazing talent we have with our Fairbanks students. And so just excited to see your journey here in the future as you make that next transition.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the lottery. So if I'm a parent and, I've been listening to this podcast and I'm like, yes, I want my now sophomore to potentially look at Northstar College. How do they go about finding out more information and potentially applying for the school?
The easiest way is to access our district website page. So under Schools of Choice, and Northstar College is listed under Schools of Choice, and it is for current sophomores and juniors. So those incoming juniors and seniors are welcome to apply. Anyone can apply as long as your GPA is a minimum of 2.5, and also you're on track to graduate. So the graduation requirements for our school district. And that link to the lottery is under the enrollments tab on the Northstar College website. And the link is there, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Once you apply to the lottery, our lottery is currently open it's open last week, December 11th, and will be open through February 23rd. And we're looking approximately 100, give or take, students to be accepted, and juniors obviously will be rolled up into senior status. So we're looking to fill a junior class. There'll be some seniors, obviously, that will be accepted as well. But once that lottery closes, we sort through the applications, and hopefully by about March 1st, parents and students will be learning that their student's been accepted, and they begin the application process with UAF.
Yeah, that's super exciting. So just for the listeners that aren't out there or aren't aware out there, we're looking at around 200 students total. So anywhere from 90 to 100 juniors, 90 to 100 seniors. We need to be over 175 mark for it to be a school within Alaska for the small school funding that we get. And so that was part of that transitioning, moving from a program, which in the past we had 40 seniors, and now moving this to this huge transition of having almost a couple hundred students up on campus. So Stacey, thanks for leading that charge. You've done an awesome job in the first year of Northstar College, rolling that out and gaining a lot of momentum around the school. And so Eliza, any final thoughts for you? Maybe some tips or tricks for potential future Northstar College students?
Yeah, I'd say if you even have an ounce of interest into Northstar, apply for the lottery, because you're not going to, well, I mean, after the lottery closes, you can't get back in. So I'd say just apply, see if you get in, and then make your decision based off of that. Just because it's a fantastic opportunity, and I personally would have been very sad if I had actually missed up on it. And then also take classes that you're interested in. UAF has so many classes that you can take, and they're in so many different fields, and don't be afraid to try anything new. So, yeah.
Love it. Stacey, any parting thoughts from you?
Well, it's just been a pleasure hearing from our students, and just this is what I get to experience every day. So it's really nice to sit here and be a part of this. And yeah, I just would encourage parents and students to, do their research, check out the information on the website. We have many informational nights coming up that are posted. I put those on the calendar today. So those dates are out there. So join us for informational nights for more just insight to what our program can offer and what our school, represents. And the partnership with UAF it's just been amazing to be a part of, and we just want to continue to grow and be able to support great students like this.
Yeah, definitely great students. Thank you so much for joining us, Eliza. It was so fun to talk to you and hear about your journey. And I didn't know coming into the conversation today that you had applied, but then kind of pulled out, and then, you're happy with the decision that you made. And so that's super cool to hear. Did want to throw out some final shout outs for Greg Stoddard, Kristen Kelly, Lori Beam, some other staff members that we have at Northstar College. They're definitely important in the growth that we've had there and supporting
our UAF
students.
Advisors, Lexi Amstutz and Amy Brister, have been a huge partnership with us and advising from the UAF side, and assuring that, we're following as we should and making sure. And I mean, ultimately, the goal is high school graduation. Yep. And so we all have to work very closely to assure our students are still on track to graduate, but earning that free college credit. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's a great team up there.
Oh, an excellent team led by you. So this is great, and I'm really looking forward to see where Northstar College goes in the future. This is year one, so only greater things are going to happen in the future, which is going to be awesome. Definitely want to say a final thank you to the University of Alaska Fairbanks for their partnership and helping us roll this out, moving from a program to a school. And then a big thank you to the Fairbanks Northstar Borough School District Board of Education for their support for this school.
Absolutely.
Because they're the ones who allocate that funding and make sure that it happens.
Yes, so. As a student, thank you so much for this opportunity. I know so many of us are really, really appreciative that this program is here for us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the conversation today. It was so good to connect with the two of you and hear about what's happening up at Northstar College. This concludes another episode of the Alaska EdVenture podcast, and it was awesome to hear about the Northstar College. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for embarking on this Alaska EdVenture with us. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll meet you on the next episode.